Zeus, we do this every time. Can you please talk?
Oh my.
Every
Okay.
single time it starts, you never say anything.
I do. I literally said we're live now.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh my god, I hate you so much, Zeus.
Why?
Oh, whatever.
Bruh. Anyways, we're here.
Hi, Moon.
Yeah, a little bit of a late start, but it's okay.
I saw what you said. What?
What
did I say? I don't know.
I'm-
Smiles is saying something.
I'm so excited. Maintenance needs to end right now.
Yeah, maybe it's been going on for a while tonight, hasn't it?
Who are you guys excited to see your play? I'm assuming it's Ivy, right?
Yes.
Gotta be Ivy.
I know. I'm excited for Ivy.
I'm not. I don't want to deal with that rank.
Bouncing off
just play Enchantress. You'll be good.
He said play Enchantress.
We literally just play. We play officer. We play officer, little girl, magician, and.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
And Enchantress.
No.
Yes.
Bro's
How about
cooking.
no?
I'm sorry.
No. I'll tell you, to calm everyone down, Ivy's not in rank yet. There's still one more week, but in your quick matches, good luck.
Yeah, good luck in your quick matches.
For those that play quick matches, I guess.
Well, I mean, as the title says, we have Aron from B4U with us, so
yeah.
Of course we'll be asking him questions. Hopefully, you guys also have some questions for him as well.
Welcome, Aron, to the podcast.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Glad to be answering anyone's questions, so feel free to speak your mind out. You can ask me about how to play the game, how do I feel, how's my life going, or, all sorts of questions.
Truly a people person.
We like that.
Yeah. Good to see a lot of welcome in the chat. I love that.
Love to see that.
Thank you, guys.
What are your thoughts for I'm sorry, I'm not gonna start about Koa just now, but with the new hunter, I feel like as a survivor coach, what are your first thoughts about Ivy? Do you think she's gonna present a problem in rank or not?
Oh yeah, a rank. I'm thinking tournament is gonna be a bitch against 4 MVCs.
Yes.
We have to see how she's gonna perform, but to be honest, it also depends on the first nerf. We've seen strong counters before, but the strong nerf made them really hard to play with. So after the first nerf is especially when we're gonna pronounce on her skill. I mean, not skill level, but viability level. You gotta remember that hunters don't get nerfed just by how strong they are, but also by how annoying they are to deal with. So NetEase could very much just nerf her because playing against her feels so not in control of the survivors. So she might just be nerfed just because she's very annoying to deal with. That's also another aspect people forget. On top of just nerfing her for balance reasons.
I see. A question for you. Our failure editor asked, "What got you into IDV to begin with?"
Oh, it's funny, but I used to play this online game 4 years ago. Not 4 years, back in 2012. I played that game for 4 years, and I made some friends along the way, which I had contact for a while. And lo and behold, I was just bored one summer, and I was like, "Yo, do you know any interesting new game I could play with my friends?" And they were like, "IDV just came out. Do you want to try it?" And so I tried it, and I fell in love. And when I fell in love, I started playing that shit 24/7. I'm talking I had 2 phones. I would play on one phone, I would charge it, play on the other, charge it when it's dead, and go back to the first one.
That
The
is
different
dedication.
types, right?
I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be better. I started watching Perceval and Fluxer back in
Mhm.
season 1 just to see how players played the game. I saw his guide first, obviously, and then I went to watch his stream. And then I started studying the maps. I started studying how to walk backwards. I fell in this shit hard, and that was my beginning in IDV.
Mm.
Nice.
The dedication. You gotta give props to that, though.
I know.
I definitely respect the grind. I remember I used to like play this game for like hours on end. Wake up, IDV, do schoolwork, do my track,
IDV.
and then as I'm like finishing my track and I'm like on my way home, I'm like saying to my buddies, "Hey, yo, get online. I'm on my way.
I'm on my way home. It's time for that
I'm on
ring
my way."
session. For me,
Oh
back
my
in
God.
high school, where it all
Yo,
started.
you go.
Nah, yeah. For me, it's kind of the same. For me, back in high school, a friend introduced me to the game, similar to your story.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it was like, it was funny. I kind of first didn't really like the aspect of the game because I never really liked ASIMs beforehand. I was a main RPG kind of guy. I just like role playing games, still do to this day.
Mm.
But as I started playing IDV more and more, I started playing during KOA 2, like right at the end of KOA 2. And when I started actually ranking, instead of just spamming quick matches and not knowing what the hell I was doing, I was like, wait a minute, these people like worker be
harder
me
to beat.
exactly. Where worker be me was like, wait a minute, these people are getting better. I gotta keep up. I don't want to be bad. And then eventually, that's when I started dedicating myself to learning and watching like YouTube guides. And then 4 years later, here we are.
Here we are.
One question from Moon said, "How do you guys play it KOA in tournaments? Are you like in the same room talking, or like through a Discord VC?" I'm assuming this is like talking about like regionals, KOA. I'm
Oh,
assuming.
if you're talking about regionals KOA, then no, everyone stays in their house and we just join a VC the whole day and we stay together and hang out and just wait for our games to start basically. But yeah, everyone stays in their own VC and yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. If you're asking about global, maybe if you're asking about the practice, then that's when it becomes awkward, or we have to stay all in one room, and then our hunter has to yeast to some other room because we don't want him to hear. That's when that question makes sense to me. But besides that, that's my answer for that.
I saw a question earlier from Smiles asking, what got you into the B4U team, or were you already in a team before KOA?
So I would call myself a veteran player. I was part of the first clan that was ever made in IDV called Boosted, which also transformed into Astra. If you guys remember, it was back with Don Zhao,
and
Blu-ray Scar,
all of the other Katos people.
Emrakul the magician who got
Mm.
who had the famous scene in one of the KOA matches that everyone knows him for. Yeah, I used to be part of that band, and it would basically be a loop of me 24/7 playing the game every summer, and then slowly taking a break during the university year. And so every summer tournament, I'd usually be there up with the team. So first year I was busy, I didn't make it. Second year I was with Astra. I think third year I was with Complex. I lost. I think third year or the fourth year I was with Complex. If you guys remember that, that was Cat's first team. I joined him there. I was part of that team. I was friends with Cats, the content creator back then. After we lost in IVT against a team called LBM, which is Liz Flowers' team. We were we had a very heartbreaking loss, so that's when we put our resources together, merged two team, and that's how we created PR. And when we created PR, Prodigy, if anyone remembers,
Yeah.
I was the creator of the team along with Cats, and due to ping reasons, we understood that it was better for me to take a back seat and just not be the first survivor. We just had to find a fourth survivor, and it took a main role in coaching, especially due to my experience in communication and my experience in running four-man VCs, because I haven't played this game, like I said, for a very long time. I have played on alts, I have played on high tier accounts, I played like a lot. I played with many people, many friends usually, and I used to be the voice chat leader back in those days, and it was a really good, like, fun days back then. I would just try to do everything I could to win the match, even though, for example, I'm not the person kindness. I would plan out everything from where ciphers people should go, where could the person die, where is the basement, etc., etc. I would orchestrate the game, and um, we knew that was my value that I would bring to the team. We just figured out that maybe we could use that to coach the players, and that was the first time that I got into coaching. So I coached Prodigy. Long story short, we lost against B4U. I took a break. Schmidi and I were also friends since season 1. He told me that I'll always be welcome, and that's the offer I ended up taking 2 years ago after I took my break and focused on real life. And that's when I joined B4U, right after IVT 2021. Yeah, I joined back in summer. I started preparing with the team for COA 6. And that's when I joined the team, and that's how I got on the team. So thanks to me, I guess.
All right. Well, I think that shows like just how like knowledgeable you are about like the co scene and like comp scene in general. So I'm definitely sure that you could help a lot of people who are like possibly interested in comp. Because I think there are a couple of viewers who like always said, "Hey Malcolm, hey Abby, hey Zeus, how do I get into competitive?" So maybe that's how we can help them with that.
I mean, sure, yeah. I could talk in general. I could also answer your questions. You decide how it goes.
All right. Well, looks like someone already has a question for you right now. From Volks, they said, question for Aron. Who does he think is the strongest hunter, and who is the strongest survivor in your opinion?
Strongest survivor is Auntie. She's just so versatile. She's a menace. She makes a dream with one of the strongest hunters' weakness. So I'd say Auntie. I still would prefer her over long distance kiters, which are acrobat, patient, arrow, just because she can harass. If Auntie is not chased, she can benefit the team with something. If those are not chased, usually the best thing I can do is a hook to a cipher, or like dash to a cipher, basically, to just cipher rush 10% faster.
Cipher rush.
So I would say Auntie. When Priestess used to have portals that would not let the hunter get through, yeah, I would say Priestess, but we all know those days are gone.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was still a thing.
Oh,
Imagine,
you'd love
yeah,
it, Eugene. You'd love it.
Those some really broken days. I don't understand how it was to be like, to be a hunter main back in those days.
Oh, I could tell you.
Especially on Moonlit.
Yeah,
oh my
on
God.
Moonlit, you just go to the bridge. That's it. She leaves.
It's
You
over.
chase someone on the bridge. They go to the bridge. They leave. That's it.
You can't do
You
anything.
go to do story. They do that portal on the side. That's it. You're gone. Unless you have blink. At least you can blink over 2-story, but you can blink over a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I do remember. People would also just loop the bridge back then in those days. Just loop the bridge. The moment he gets close, portal. Loop the bridge. The moment he gets close, portal. Easy.
Yeah.
Strongest hunter. I think I'm gonna have to assume you're asking strongest hunter. That's not Opera Singer, because that's the obvious strongest hunter right now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say the one right after that would be I think it was not what before nerf.
Hmm.
That would be the next like best kind of hunter we've seen in a while, but right now it's more so gamekeeper, just
Ugh.
meta wise.
I can't
Um,
believe it, man.
yeah, but
Uh,
Dream Witch on paper should be the strongest hunter, but
Hmm.
right now she suffers from the fact that she's been here for 4 years. Everyone knows how to play her. Every team and their mother has been formed to play her.
Yeah.
I literally, when I used to train like friends team back in my coaching days, like when I was coaching PR, I was coaching friendly teams at the time as well, like maybe lower teams as well. And the first thing I would do is get them to scream Dream Witch Hunter and just get them to organize that mess because like the harder you go against, the harder the wall, the faster the climb. As long as someone's guiding them. But if nobody's guiding them, the mountain, the more they'll be lost and they'll just be wasting your time. So I used to be there and they used to tell them if you learn how to beat a Dream Witch, you're already 80% of the way to be a competitive player because Dream Witch teaches a lot. In order for you to be able to beat a Dream Witch, you need to understand from kiting, team communication, basement avoidment, hunter calling, a lot. So that starts the basis of communication for me. And starting in hard mode is usually how I used to do that. I would just look really quickly at my tool just so I see a picture of the hunters again. Yeah, I wouldn't say besides Opera there isn't like specifically a strong hunter. There's just Opera. She just exists and beats everyone. Duh. Um, Gym Witch, I'd say she's in a bit of a pickle right now. She can only be used right now to effectively absorb a ban, or just always be there to make people afraid of her in competitive. And then I think what's interesting is you have the good, but you need to play it on best map, or you need to play it against this type of character, type of hunter, which groups anything from Anne to Bonbon, Wax, and obviously Gamekeeper. Gamekeeper being played on Moonlit / Lakeside / Leo's Memory. If you see him played on Church, whoop, that boy struggles. But yeah, that's what I would like to call the mid, or like the next best tier, which competitive hunters play based on team comps that they ended up with. I mean, the survivors they're faced in. What team comp they're having? Do they have any survivor weaknesses towards the specific hunter you can play in your arsenal that is also viable on the map? And then is there any surprise hunter that they did not expect? That's what would, for example, determine how strong of a hunter choice you could make during a particular call game.
I have a bit of a question for you. B4U, when you were fighting for your spot and going to Koa overseas, you guys were fighting against Ling's Hermit, and we saw like how strong that was in previous matches. Where do you think Hermit fits in this meta? I feel like, in my opinion, he has like such a high skill ceiling for like getting good results on his end, but
Correct.
also he
Very
could like also get demolished if survivors know how to play around. So like, where do you think he would fit along those lines?
So I think right now the only thing he would be used is just as a scare factor that hunters could go to, which basically forces team to bring healers, or I could call them tanks, such as Ada Barmaid, to make sure that you have enough survivor advantage to win. But on paper, if your team practiced against Hermit long enough, against the recent strategies, whether the hunter wants to run blink and not connect ciphers, whether the hunter wants to run teleport and just keep switching targets, which was Link's playstyle. As long as your survivors are prepared for both and you have good draft picks, Hermit should not be a problem. As you guys could tell in our early game against Link, even though obviously didn't have that much time to prepare against his Hermit, because I don't like to invest in hunters that I'm not likely gonna meet in globals. So we're not gonna spend all of our 6 months preparing for a Hermit. We're like preparing for other things, and then if we play Hermit in Koa Wildfires, that's when we're like, okay, full stop. We're just gonna take this Hermit practice to the next level, more than we obviously did a few times, and make sure we got it down. On the maps that we predict we'll have to play him. And if you could tell, at least from our game, it was mostly domination on our part until the part where Roland got wanted order, and then the whole thing fell apart. But the early game being that good, and if you look at any other China team, they get that early game as good as that, and then they make sure they transition to having an even better game. I would recall WBG match, I think, against CT's Hermit, which I think is first Hermit. Unlike Sad, they had an amazing early game. They gave the hunter possibilities to like come back in the end because he just killed everyone, but they never like gave him options. They always were like, okay, you killed 2 survivors, but we're not gonna let you chair both of them. You have 2 survivors on the floor, but we're not gonna let you pick up 1 or 2 of them. They always put him in a pickle. Like whoever he chairs, whoever he chases, whoever he picks up, the other person just makes it out. So they were able to still force out a 3-man against him. So to answer your question, on paper, if your team practices against Hermit, it should not be a problem. As long as you practice against the main used Hermit strategies and the hunter does not surprise you with say a new strategy that comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for your answer. I think that was very thorough.
Mhm.
Let's see. I just want to like take a look at chat here. Aaron, how do you? Oh, sorry. Did you have one? You can go.
Just a short little funzy question from Pumpkaboo here. They say, "Hi, Aaron, big fan. Is there anyone in B4U that you feel like you have a good friendship with, plus enjoy spending time with the most?"
I think you mean everyone.
He has no favorites, chat. He
Everyone.
has no favorites.
My slight favoritism would be Schmitty because we've been friends the longest, but everyone on B4U is a family. We enjoy hanging out with each other. If we don't, we obviously said that when I joined, the goal is to win Koa with the team, not to just win Koa at all costs.
Understood.
So sorry to interject, but Smile said, Aaron, how do you feel about the game balance as of right now?
The game balance is interesting. I think NetEase is gonna push it towards the Hunter-ish sided because it makes up for interesting games and it makes the survivors get better. Back when Opera came out, people were struggling to beat that bitch. Oh, sorry, am I using slurs?
Oh yeah, we don't care.
No,
Yeah.
you can swear as much as you want.
Okay.
Go for it.
Like I said, that bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
She made quick work of everyone, and I think that made people get better. Just like I said with the Dream Witch practices, I made people go through. If you go against a hard wall or like a hard climb, it makes your learning curve way more optimized, I guess, and it gives you like a higher ceiling. Well, as long as you don't get to that point where you say like, fuck this, I just played my best and I still lost, fuck Opera, which definitely happened a few times before the nerf. But right now she's at a place where, okay, the hunter might not make mistakes, but you still can control the game in your hands. And I think that's where NetEase wants to take the hunters to, basically a level where hunters should be getting a tie, but survivors outplaying them can give them advantage or not. So I think that's where it's gonna be. Oh, and I think the cycle of putting an OP hunter and then nerfing him slightly after he dominates is something we should expect from now.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Nightwatch, we've seen it with Opera, we're probably gonna see it with Ivy, and I think it's not a bad strategy. I think it makes for a good learning curve and interesting games.
Listen, I have a kind of similar philosophy to that as well, because for me, I have openly stated a while, even from before Opera nerfs, as of now, I think like pre-Ivy release and her absurdities, I think that this is the most balanced the game has ever been. Like, this is probably the most balanced state, competitively speaking, we've ever seen in a meta game. And it's for almost all those exact same reasons, because now it's like Ivy has just, not Ivy, I'm thinking too far ahead into the future. Opera has just gotten to a point where she's just been getting most of the time in for CN competitive consistent draws with then either 3Ks via taking advantage of survivor mistakes or outplaying survivors, or getting 3-manned via survivors outplaying the opera singer and taking advantage of her mistakes if she makes a mistake. So it's a real constant push and pull. It's not one-sided, and it doesn't feel one-sided when you watch it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Although the only feedback I would say is usually survivors have how do I say they have the options to make mistakes. They could make 3, 4, 5 mistakes and they could still win against like a normal hunter. But with Opera, it definitely snowballs out of control once you make that 1 or 2 mistakes, and if the hunter doesn't mess up, it's really hard to steer the game back into the survivor's hands.
Yep.
I actually have my own question for you. So I assume that you had looked into the new hunter trait of Warp, right?
Oh, Warp?
Yeah.
I did. If anything, it looks really fun and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna have its uses, interesting uses. I was thinking camping hunters. Camping hunters now can make sure that 2 people don't decode. So basically, when someone is downed, they can just have the person down on the chair, have the rescuer come to the chair, stop the person near them from decoding, and then taking the portal and stopping the 4th person. So basically now you could have people not decoding at all. Something like Wax or Bonbon, I think, could use those in order to cipher pressure to make literally the survivors get 0 cipher practice done. I saw some interesting uses with Naiad to make the water like pool like insanely stupidly huge. That could maybe people might be able to do that and kill people in the corner. I don't know, I haven't seen like much videos, but I haven't gotten much into like the real usage because again, I'm preparing for Koa Globals, and this trait is not going to be in Koa Globals, so I tend to spend my time a little bit more on watching, especially Gamekeeper nowadays, just because of the recent surge that they made. But yeah, to
Nerf
answer your question, it's
Gamekeeper.
gonna be interesting to see how people use it, and I'm not invested in that per se, but I think it's really good for hunters to cap ciphers. I think it's perfect also with how long the chair is. I think it was like 30 seconds or something. So I think that's probably the most logical use. It could also be to change targets mid-match, or some for people who change targets, but we'll have to see for sure. I think being that this trait came very recently, and that there are now, I'd say, about 20 viable hunters, each one having his own abilities. But just by adding 1 new trait, now you have 20 new combinations with every new hunter, which is different from just having a new hunter that's just independent. Now you just have a new trait, which almost never happened, and then you just have that work with different hunter abilities. It's gonna be interesting for sure.
Thank you.
A question from
Welcome.
Moon. Oh, yeah, sorry. A question from Moon. Aaron, what do you think about the current competitive state of NAEU?
NAU?
Yes.
Um. Okay, the current state or this? Okay, so let's just address two things. The current state and the future state are gonna be two different things. So let's just address the current state.
Okay.
So the current state, we have some competitive teams. I think all the top 8 teams were competitive in that they were all striving to be almost like equal on the same level. You obviously have your preferences, like Fusion on the other side, like CH4 on our side. Um, those would be like the most historical teams that stuck together, that have the most tournament experience, and tournament experience is a lot. Um, New players cannot just expect to go onto the scene and just play amazingly because that's just not realistic to have yourself play on a tournament level just from day one and perform at your best. We have some exceptions like Momo from Fusion. I don't think he had any tournament experience, and then one of his first days he played amazing. But to hammer the point back home, the whole point is the biggest factor that's holding our NAEU region back is teams not sticking together. And just by default, if you have a team that sticks together for long enough and has enough resources to consistently improve, your improvement is going to be exponential over a longer period of time. Whereas if you just keep changing players, keep changing strategies, for example, if you just keep changing things prematurely without letting them grow and evolve, then you lose out on those compound improvements that happen time over time when you play with the same players
Huh.
and you train with them. So
That
that would
makes
be
sense.
like the for the current state, the future state. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but with B4U's future being uncertain, and with CH4 apparently from what I hear being disbanded, and Omni maybe getting disbanded, also Fusion might be leaving the scene. I didn't hear. I just thought they may be gonna either reshape the team or try to maybe get new members. I think maybe one of the members is gonna be busy or something, but we're gonna see a whole new restructuring of the NA region soon, and that might give a lot more chance for teams to rise up.
Okay.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Mm.
I would be lying if I said, I hope some of those teams still stick around because they're all very talented players. But yeah, I guess time will tell. Yeah.
Everyone is
also-
talented on those teams, not gonna lie. They put up a performance in regionals. I was excited.
Yeah.
Especially with your matchup with CH4. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, seeing who's gonna win.
I can confirm that was happening.
Oh, trust me. I was. Nah, just kidding. I wasn't.
Oh, he
I was the
was.
most stressful during the IVT, the fall IVT. I think fall IVT, we did not have the wind cerned. We did not invest as much time as we should in practicing for those things. But these qualifiers, we were confident. Even when the team got 4-man twice, um, we did not feel down. We understood we played well. We understood the fundamental mistakes that we let go, and we just kept going at it until we broke through in the 4th match. That was how the GH4 matches were for me. Stressful, but we felt very confident. So it was just a matter of time until the effort showed.
Hey, Aaron, I have a question. So, like, I know, like, Leg, he left his record open accidentally, and like the practices got leaked. How did you guys like deal with the pressure on that?
Oh, so To any team who's facing us, I'm just gonna say, since this is a public live stream, whether you know exactly what we're playing or not, it's not gonna change the fact that we are gonna play it our best. So let me just give you an example. In Koa 4, I think, or I don't remember specifically which one because that was when I quit, but Wolves went in Bomber, and that was a core factor of their strategy, and everyone knew they were gonna go in Bomber, yet Wolves won. Why? It's because if you have a good strategy and you develop it, whether they let you play it and abuse it, or whether they let you they're forced to ban it, you have a win-win condition. So in the same way that legs records were leaked and people saw the practices, first of all I only saw leg side, and second of all we always have backup plans. We have plan A, plan B, plan C, and we never just go into a match just hoping to get these characters. Okay, I'm just gonna assume he's gonna ban this, I'm just gonna assume we pick this, I'm just gonna assume that's what I want and it's gonna happen. And you know, already by then it's a lot of assumptions. And then I'm also gonna assume he's gonna play this hunter, and then I'm gonna assume I'm gonna get to play this spawn with this specific build. No, that's not how it works. When we practice in B4U, we practice for the best case scenario and we practice for the worst case scenario. And anything in the middle, we manage and we change and we strategize during the actual game. So we always have a backup strat that's almost as good. And because at the end of the day, even if a team did not know what we were gonna go, they could still just by chance say ban the characters we wanted to do. Say understood how we were gonna play this, for example, toy, or understand how we were gonna set up. That's something that we got better at. I'll give an example of how we played Toy Merchant with Dancer in the Ani match in Koa, where we failed to understand that we're playing BQ on our Bonbon. During the game. Obviously, I have problems where I couldn't like help the team adapt, but that's an example of us not ready 100% for a case like that. That's definitely something that motivated me to always have a backup plan and always practice those backup plans. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right. Thank you for explaining that thoroughly again. I think that like goes to show to the viewers watching that if your favorite character gets banned in rank, try to be like B4U and be flexible. Just because they ban your characters or whatever, just to see like, oh, they might recognize the name. Oh, this person plays this. Just try to be flexible and try to do the best you can with what you have, and try to be ready for everything.
Yeah, I would say though, try to have specific roles. So if you play patient, try to master all the 3 OP characters: patient, acrobat, and aeroplanist. If you play some sort of support, try to pick up another sort of support. If you play rescuer and you are a rescuer main on the team, try to be able to play all rescuers at all times. Just by basically having the options that fit your role available at all times is the bare minimum a competitive player should have. So a kiter should know his kiters. You could know a harasser, but a support, yes. But you gotta make sure those 3 like main characters or the main role is hammered in, while also playing one new character. For example, you could play Anti and you could play 3 OP kiters. So in you're transferring your knowledge from one character to the next, and since it's a character that kind of plays in the same way like your first character, you would transfer a lot of that knowledge, and then on top of that, you could pick up different roles of different characters. You could play kiter like Seer, you could play kiter like Magician, for example, that rely mostly on I would say items and tanks, basically for Seer. You could play tanks like a Barmaid or an Ada. So when you play one of those characters, you should also understand that once you understand how to play them, it's easy to transition to the next other character.
Hmm.
So for example, if you're good with, for example, barmaid, and you're good with patient, you should definitely try practicing your acrobat and aeroplanist, and you could also practice your ADA/gardener. Those are very logical transitions that give you the most out of your time, that give you the most amount of transferable experience that will let you benefit from practicing on any single character of those.
That once again, like you're answering these so perfectly. So I guess this makes sense why you're the coach for B4U, because why else, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I put too much time into this game.
I think it served you and your team very well though over the past couple of years. So I think it definitely paid dividends. Celeste is asking if there's any hunter or survivors you main, and if you have any tips for them. And you can be as brief or as extensive as you want with this one.
I'd say my survivor days are long gone. I tell my team all this time, I'm not a survivor anymore. So you guys play. You guys know how to. I don't know how to. I will tell you how to improve. I'll orchestrate the match. I'll tell you exactly our game plan. But at the end of the day, I would not be able to give you tips for a character that I main, because I don't play this game anymore. If I have any time, I go watching games and strategies. That's what I do. If I have any sort of time, that's what I do. So I don't really play the game as much anymore. I used to be Perfumer main and the Thief main, if that's your question. I was a proud Thief main for 4,000 games until Wu Chang teleported on me. I alien. That's when I realized Thief was not gonna be meta anymore, and I started to play Perfumer since then. But I wouldn't be able to help you, especially with Perfumer, because I don't like Perfumer anymore in the current meta and in the previous meta at all. So yeah, I'm sorry. That's kind of the question that would be out of my territory. But if you have any specific survivor, I could tell you maybe a few tips on what I think could help you the most, getting the best results, or like getting improvement with a specific character. Try. I'm not the best at it. I'll just try.
Can I just briefly ask why you don't like Perfumer in this meta, considering that she's kind of strong against Opera Singer?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think the only way you need to make her strong is by combining her with a cheerleader, at which point she's very strong.
Mhm.
But I think they're just slightly better options. I think she could be played when people don't know what characters they want to play, or that person doesn't have any other kiter, etc. But I think if everyone knows every character on the team, I think there's always a better option. I think the only reason people would play her would be because they ran out of what characters to play.
Okay.
Like who's gonna play what. But yeah. I'd say like Magician is the same thing.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, 3 perfumes, 3 wands, and your whole point is just to delay that kite, to make sure you kite into blink and bait blink out. That's like the main goal with these kiters.
Can I ask if that extends to journalists too, or because I feel like we've been playing a bit of journalist cheerleader, and we think that kind of synergizes as well. Do you think it also extends to her as well?
I'd say journalist is an interesting character. But I think she's the strongest, at least kite-wise, against one single hit and hunters. Would you share my statement? Like something like a clerk, something like maybe a geisha, something maybe like a B4U, where all the hunter has is that one hit, or maybe that one ability where he can hit you with, and if you use your, Gregory, you can, counter
Gregory?
that in a yeah, that's what I think that's what my team calls that person.
I call him Timothy. I call him Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy.
Oh, Timmy looks like a better name.
Little Timmy always gets us in trouble every single time.
Every time.
Man, he'd be standing in the weirdest places while facing a wall.
Yeah. That's why I would say she requires different. I think her only drawback is that you play her so differently versus different hunters, and you can't always play her versus all the current meta hunters.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Becomes
answering that.
hard.
Oh,
Mhm.
did you want to continue? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No, I
off.
just said it was it's really needs a good journalist player in order to be able to understand how to play her versus every hunter.
Okay. Okay.
Now that's something I don't have.
Right. Smiles is asking, how do you stay motivated to play Koa or IDV in general?
Oh,
Yeah.
friends. Honestly, just the friends. The friends, the hunger to be the best, the hunger to help the team become the best. At least that's for a coach role. And also having the confidence that knowing that the effort you put into the game will take you to that stage where you'll able to where you will be able to achieve your dreams, if that's your dream, obviously. I think that's what keeps me motivated and the team motivated.
I agree. Team chemistry and just like playing with the same people over and over and over again. It just makes the game fun. Could play quick matches and mess around. Have some fun with the hunter.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
Oh my god, yeah, just Mr.
it just makes the game so fun.
For a
I don't
player,
know.
yeah, that
Yeah,
makes it so much more
Mr.
fun, yeah.
Flywheel only weeping clown.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, my only flywheel weeping clown flower build.
Thankfully, Aaron, you'll never have to deal with getting pulled into the hunter by his weeping clown.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen my teammates do that. It's pretty funny.
No, but I was lagging. I'm sorry, bro. I was lagging.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You
Yeah,
perfectly
you-
aim it, yeah, but you're lagging, right? Okay.
Yep.
Perfectly aimed it, but lagging, sure.
Yeah.
With my 20 ping. Mhm.
Listen. If I don't see you running into a wall, by all means, I don't think you're lagging.
Fishy Boy is asking for tips on female dancer. I remember people back in the day saying she is the best decoder.
Female
Decoder.
dancer.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Female dancer is an interesting support. She's played less on support role now, but against some certain hunters, she makes it a pain to play against her. I'll give two examples: Clerk and Hermit. If Hermit gets to those boxes when he's chasing his survivor, I know he's like dying inside, like, oh, get this dancer out of this match, bro. Same thing for a Clerk too. I was like, when are these survivors gonna stop looping me?
Yeah. Clerk, I used to play a lot of Hermit, and he breaks pellets so slowly that I can't even imagine what it'd be like in a slow box.
And you walk so slowly too. So
Oh,
on
yeah.
top of the boxes, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's terrible. It actually would be terrible.
It's funny
s-
how an old man walks faster than him, coughing and stuff,
Ironically, yeah.
and
So,
also breaks pallets faster than him too.
No, that is true, actually.
swings faster too.
Does he
Oh, yeah.
actually?
Who,
Uh,
Mad Eyes?
Yeah. He does?
Well, Mad Eyes will eat through every pallet known to
Oh,
man.
he's a
sweet.
pallet muncher. He like breaks. Oh, I love bringing
Same with
destruction on that.
Joseph.
When
not
I used
really.
to play against Mad Eyes, I had also I'm an EU player, by the way, if anyone doesn't know.
Mhm.
So I do have time zone difference, and they also have ping difference. And when I used to play against Mad Eyes, by the time I put the pallet down and they can't move again, the hunter already broke the pallet and is about to hit me.
Yeah, that is. I feel
Yeah.
like he's got one of the fastest pallet breaking in the game. It's kind of like
The fastest one,
insane. And it's definitely a pain. There was like a question that I missed. I guess I'll find it. But like, did any of you guys have any questions that I'm missing? I'm trying to find it.
There was one from
Oh.
Runji. There was a Runji that asked, what are you looking forward to going to China, and is it your first time going?
Oh, I see also Ranji's previous question on the stream. So to just a quick recap, Ranji, I'm a season 1 player. I've been playing the game for a very long time. I have made friends along the way. One of them was Schmidty since season 1. 4 years later, I made my own team Prodigy, and they faced B4U in co-op 4 global, qualifiers. We lost against them. That's when I quit the game to focus on real life. And by that time, Schmidt invited me in, and I took the offer once I was stable in my real life, and I was, done with the life project that I had. Now to answer your recent question, what am I looking forward to most in China? Yes, so this is the first time that I'm gonna go to China. And it's gonna be with the team. It's gonna be a lot of fun, hopefully. I think what we're mostly looking forward to is gonna be proving our worth in the international region, because I think last year was a sentiment on how far we can get, and last year was basically like, okay, we got our hot bracket, let's make the most out of it. Let's try our best. And where we had our downfalls, and where we had to make, to cut losses short, and where we had to only focus on specific things to make sure we get as close to victory back then. We learned a lot. Whether we won, whether we lost, we learned a lot, and we hope to take that experience and what it taught us and show for it in this global qualifiers. So what I'm looking forward the most is the team performing on the same level we have in practice. So hopefully nerves won't be a factor. And fingers crossed for an easy bracket. I can always face those teams, but at least let me have an easier team, please. But I know our luck, and we're preparing for the best teams, and without looking at other people, also are preparing to be the best team that we can be, with as much time as we can have the practicing and all. We're not professional players. We don't get paid to do this. We spend a lot of long nights working on the game and watching footage and trying to improve in any way, whether it's brainstorming, strategizing, and everything. But it's as much as it's limited on how much we can just focus on the game and get to that next level. But we'll try our best, and I hope we make a good showing for you, for everyone else, and all of our fans, and maybe not even our fans. I hope we make everyone proud of our performance.
I think Abby has always said that we should support those who go overseas, even if, depending on who we like or do not like, we should always try to support them, since they are the people representing our banner, so to speak. So I definitely hope that you guys perform well over there, and
I can't
my
wait
support.
to see you guys.
Oh yeah.
I hope, like you said, I hope that support is 100% deserved during the games. That's the goal.
Chan 101 said, Aaron, is there any particular survivor or hunter that you're upset about falling off? Me personally, it's Dream Mature Mechanic, but I'm a little bit biased. So
I would say Mechanic, I would agree. Mechanic, I would 100% agree with you. Dream Witch, I don't think fell off. I don't mind her falling off, because she didn't fall off because of a nerf or something. She fell off just because of good survivors. How good survivors came into the game slowly, and how good players knew how to use the good survivors. That's how she fell off. But I think the most hunter that they hate that fell off was Nightwatch. I think Nightwatch was good. It was very interesting. Maybe give him a slight nerf if you really wanted, but I think a nerf to both his wind and both to his dash ability, it really hurt him a lot. And I'm sad he did fall off. I really liked watching Nightwatch games.
Hmm. Whose fall off do you think was worse, Clerk or Night Watch?
I don't think Clerk fell off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clerk is the same thing with Dream Witch. Players just know how to play him. It's not about the character becoming worse or getting nerfed. It's more so about the players knowing how to play him. And if you play Clerk against a team who doesn't know how to play him, then the Hunter did not fall off. Same thing with Dream Witch. But for example, something like a mechanic or a Night Watch, whether you know how to play those characters, objectively speaking, they fell off from the peak that they used to be at.
Hmm.
But Clerk, I think Clerk is still used from time to time when when you want a surprise factor, when the team has no support, when the team has a stupid comp, sort of that stuff. And I mean, I've seen it, you guys seen it in regionals too. Spencer pulled out the Clerk, so you can pull him out of the right circumstances, just like any other off-mara hunter, I guess. I'd say that, but that's that's why I would differentiate the two, like falling off due to the hunter not being good enough anymore because of the series of nerf, or because players just got good at him, or hunter fell off because the survivors slowly and over say a year or two were able to confidently master how to play against him. It's like two different things. And
Got it.
obviously the, the the later is the harder fall off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
I actually had
no.
2 questions for you though. So my first question, I guess I've mentioned this a couple times on our past streams, but just like an idea I guess I had was if Mecca was able to get reworked to where if her bot was found and was able to get hit down by the hunter, if they were able to every time that happened to give her a small decoding buff on her main body, do you think that would change like her viability like in back into comp?
I think that's a very interesting idea. I think all mech needs is honestly just something of that sort to make her viable again. So your idea would definitely make her viable again. If you make that decoding progress, say 10 or 20%, because especially that counters the fact that she becomes useless if both her dolls die and you just change target and you injure the teammate immediately. Say for example you play against a hunter that runs teleport, he kills doll twice and then he just changes target. He has presence, he kills someone really fast, mech can't decode, and mech did not really buy any much time. Mech was just probably given free presence at that point. That's I think what hurts the mech in this current meta, or like how mech feels like when you play here in a competitive scene against a hunter who can be played against her. But it's either your idea or just please just bring her same decoding buffs and nerfs that she had before, like what 2 years ago. I think at that point she was very strong, but right now she is almost not worth it, especially with the high mobility hunters. I would not use her against Opera. I would not use her against previous Night Watch. I would not use her reliably against Wax or against Gamekeeper either. It's just it's the trade-offs right now that are easily abusable by the hunters that exist in this meta. It's not just a single hunter, it's not a hunter who has a single attack meta. It's not the clown days, it's not the B4U days, it's not the say only bonbon days. Hunters now have a lot of abilities that they can use them to make quick work of the doll, and they can use them to also catch up to the main body of mechanic. So that's one of the biggest reasons I think she falls off. but under the right circumstances, she could still work. I never said she doesn't, but like I always say, it's not about that she could work. It's about, is there a better option? And usually the question is yes. There are more reliable options.
Mhm. My second question was like more so general, I guess. I just wanted to know if there was like a really specific reason that it doesn't really seem, I guess, to me, like I don't specifically know, but it doesn't seem that B4U really ranks outside of Koa seasons. Is there
No,
like a
that's
reason
wrong.
for that?
That's
Reason?
bullcrap.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone thinks that. But I think they mistake the difference between ranking to get high on the leaderboards and ranking just to stay warmed up against different
Mm-hmm.
hunters, because those two are different. And even if you don't show in the top 100 survivors, you can still be playing rank. Your rank could still be lower. You don't have to go all the way, but just playing rank from time to time to stay warmed up is all what you need. We practice. We can only put so much time into the game. We'd rather practice
Yeah.
against our own honor in our own controlled way mm, first before playing hunters on the rank where we can't really control the variables and control the learning curve. It's good. We definitely use rank as practice when it's Koa season, but that's the best time we use that for practicing and getting the reps in when it comes to the last season before Koa and the current season of Koa. But whoever says B4U does not rank completely forgets the idea that B4U is a team that is a professional, that is a team that
Mm-hmm.
practices a lot, and that is also not a professional paid team, which means they cannot just stream for 10 hours a day and play rank and then go to practice and then play rank again. Well, we don't do that, so it's only as much as we could do, and we chose to have practice first and then rank second. And why we don't, show on the top leaderboards? We do play, but we just don't show on the leaderboards.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Welcome.
I wanna to take a back step when we were talking about characters falling off and whatnot. I wanted to know what were your opinions on like what are currently like the strongest set of survivors like in the game, like for right now,
Strongest
specifically
set
for
of
round one,
survivors?
like for specific like I guess opera meta like round one, like I guess in more simpler terms, like a quote unquote like little tier list, like what are the S tiers etc that you would consider right now for this meta.
Oh, that'll be easy.
Hmm.
I would define an S tier both in a character that is a counter to Opera, whether he's good against other helpers or not, let's just ignore that for now. And then the next would be an S tier because he's good against Opera and then he's also good versus anything else the hunter could go. So if we combine that into everything, we get coordinator, novelist, anti-aero, acrobat, patient, merc, wildling, first officer, magician, and gardener. And if I might so repeat that in order of what characters and what roles, you have your two rescuers that are only merc as first officer. Wildling is just played because he has possibility to rebound. He's like he's like the furthest counter from being a counter, I would say, but he's picked a lot because he's a good permaban. You have your three OP kiters, acrobat, aeroplanist, and patient, who can pull distance and guarantee that they don't die for those 50 seconds. You have your stunners that could work against her, which are either anti or coordinator, novelist as well. You have your tanks such as Ada and Gardner, and then you have your pure kiters that would be magician and perfumer. Those are people kiters that people just use just purely against her. But you also have now the flex tier, which is Embalmer, Lawyer, and Explorer, which are characters that you play on specific maps, you use in specific strategies. You have now then you can have this is not so much S tier characters anymore, but this is your next best option, which comes down to combination of cheerleader, dancer, seer, and priestess with Ada. That would be like how the tier list goes. And if you realize, there's a lot of viable characters, which does reflect because many teams play the opera differently. And one last character I forgot to mention is Lucky Guy. I used to love Lucky Guy until I saw ZQ lose against GG, just because their Lucky Guy got a mech doll when he was trying to get a watch to kite, and ZQ's lost shortly after. I mean, the game was designed from that point on. That's when Lucky Guy, like you said, fall off in my heart. I don't like him as much as on the other teams, but if everyone is willing, I think he's strong, and we definitely practiced him, and he's an interesting, flexible character. If you wanna have the most interesting match against an opera, experiment with a Lucky Guy, with a map where you can open chests, with a map where you can hide him, make sure he doesn't get first chase, and then you will be able to make some interesting plays with the chest boxes. Make sure that you don't, you do decode though. Just do not just go on the map and open every chest in existence. Make sure you get some decode in it. But yeah, that would be my tier list for Opera.
All right. Thank you.
All right, I'm just gonna briefly ask chat if there's any few remaining questions they want to ask, and then because you're on a schedule here, Aaron, we'll try to get you kind of relatively in and out so that you can get back to doing whatever you need to do.
Yes.
And but I greatly appreciate the time that you spent here with us. I think we all mean that, and I hope chat also shares that too. Oh well. Yeah, it looks like people just want to know what your thoughts are on Ivy.
Like I said, I do tend to focus a lot on what the current meta is and what hunters I can play, but Ivy definitely looks strong. She looks on upper level. I think she'll be nerfed, and that's when we'll see where her nerf puts her. Does her nerf put her at Nightwatch level, where he's just a backup hunter now, or does her nerf puts her at still just as good level, just like Opera Singer?
Okay. Thank you for briefly recapping that. Are there any more few questions in the chat?
In the chat. No question.
Pro, you've been quiet. Are you good?
I'm
not seeing anything.
Had a question. I will definitely miss you in China, Renji. Why don't you come? Get a visa and meet us and come cheer for us in China.
Fishy boy, I think he just isn't really looking too much into Ivy right now. So maybe after Koa is done, maybe then he'll have a bit of a handle on that one. But right now, I think he's just focusing on the hunters that will be in Koa. So
yes,
I don't think
in my limited mortal time, that's all I can do. You can go as many. You can only do so much when you go so many days with 5 hours of sleep consistently.
Yeah, right. Okay. Legendary character, I think it's just more of the same with the warp. Yeah. It's not a viable trait in Koa just yet, so he's focusing more on things that are going to be in this Koa as opposed to next competitive tournaments.
Yes, I try.
Someone, Mizuki asked just, do they pay for your trip to China for the tourney?
Oh yeah, they do. If they
Yeah.
don't pay for it, okay, come
I wouldn't.
on.
I don't think I would pay.
I ain't rich, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Hey, first class, get upgraded.
Is it first class? Is it
Okay,
first class? Tell me the
Wait,
information.
first class?
okay. Listen, if it like I'm not faker, so no first class for me.
For faker, they'll
you,
find a
Matt.
way to go 0 class. I don't know, S class.
He's the one flying the plane.
Yeah,
He's
for
just the
real.
pilot.
That guy like received a letter from the president, kind
Oh,
of, to
wow.
the team
Wow.
and personally. So that guy is at the top of esports scene, just in general and in the world.
So be faker.
Yep.
This just proves, Chuck, that League is a great game and you should play League.
Okay,
Shut
bro.
up.
Okay,
So that
bro.
means
Get out.
Aaron should get into some league action here, huh?
That's what I'm saying,
Okay,
bro.
bro. Okay.
Pass.
Thank you,
Oh.
Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
No.
You have no idea how
I
much I
am-
appreciate this.
Nice.
I'm on the bandwagon that says League is a very complex game now for anyone that wants to start playing those kind of games. After not playing any kind of games like those for a while, it's a game that definitely became like a Goliath now from how much you need to learn. And if I'm not gonna be the very best, I might not as well be on the game.
Smart. Smart.
That's definitely a good mentality to have.
Yeah, but I do like
Invest
it. I watch video tutorials. I watch the faker montages or any interesting team stuff. I watch highlight. It looks like a very interesting game. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Exactly, chat. There you see, even Aaron saying it's an interesting game, therefore you should try it. That's all I'm saying. You should try it.
It's
Yeah.
just if it's
That's
not
what I
your
thought you were
game,
going with that.
there's a
Not
little
where I
bit of
thought you were going with that.
there's a little bit of bias in that, but that's
Ah.
okay.
League is perfect. Just play the game. 28 25-8. Yeah, 25-8.
Yeah,
Oh.
until you go 0-15 in your first match.
Okay. All right. I think this is probably a good place
Time
to
to
end the
listen.
podcast. I want to thank Aaron for stopping by. It was a great time having him on the podcast. Hopefully, everyone here in the chat got to answer their questions, or at least most of their questions were answered. I hope you guys learned a lot. We'll be having the podcast as per usual next Wednesday. Please come, and invite your friends to that. I don't believe we'll be having Aaron there, but he's always welcome to come back if his schedule is permitting that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. It'll also depend a lot on when we go to China and everything. But yeah, if I do have a time slot, hopefully I'll message you, Zeus, and we can arrange for another meeting. I definitely feel that I can be my best and help everyone just by answering the questions on this podcast. To be honest, we had a lot of interesting questions, and it was a blast to be with you guys here and just discussing the game and nerding about the game, having fun, and talking about also my history and how the things came to be. I'm glad to be here. Thanks everyone.
Thank you again, Aaron.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
And
Yeah.
I think someone in chat said maintenance is over, so everyone, y'all can go mess around with the new hunter if you have the clues for that.
It's been over.
All right, Pearl.
Okay,
thank you.
can now you can open your mouth. We have a guest here, and you keep your mouth shut for the entire time.
What the hell am I supposed to say? I'm letting him talk. What the fuck's the problem?
Oh, thank you, Pearl. Thank you, Pearl.
Thank you.
You'll have to excuse my sister,
her.
Aaron.
Wait, is this still
Big
live?
mouth.
Oh.
Yep, still live, Pearl.
Whoa.
Aaron, excuse my niece. She's a
Oh
little
my
bit.
Wait,
Bruh.
I have a question
It's
for
okay.
Aaron.
It's okay.
I got one last question for Aaron.
Okay. I think that pleasure should go to the niece, but sure.
Yeah.
What?
What are your thoughts on Perfumer's Tonight or Never skin coming back?
Oh
stream.
my
End the
god.
stream. End the
I'm
stream. End the
ending it.
stream. End the stream.
It's over.
End the
Ending
stream.
it.
No one-
Ending it. Ending it now.
Is there any other questions?
Yup. Thank you.
Wait,
Yeah.
Aaron, I have a question.
Just to say, I have that skin that you're talking about, so I think my answer is pretty obvious from that point.
Oh, okay. Nice.
What was your question,
yes.
Jam?
Yes, Jam or
Wait,
Early.
yeah, I was gonna ask. Are you feeling jolly today?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm ending stream.
Yeah.
I'm ending.
Alright,
I'm
thank y'all
ending
for
it.
coming out.
Thank you all.
Is there any words? No.
Any other questions? No. All right. Once again,
Forever hold your
Aaron.
Take care,
peace.
guys.
Thank
See ya.
you
Bye.
once
You
again,
too,
Aaron, for
Aaron.
joining us.
Bye.